into a Friday edition of Pick Central. Big Ev, anytime you got a fat guy dancing to your left, you can't get it out of your mind. I like it. I like the energy, Big Ev.
Little groove. It's Friday.
Yeah, it's a Friday groove.
Basketball's back tomorrow.
Got Sweet 16.
One
we
more
got
sleep, as they say.
We got UFC this weekend.
Heavyweight championship of the world.
This is a nice
rematch.
Nice sports weekend. The weather's getting better.
Yep.
I got baseball practice today. I got to go out and get my little shortstop ready for the season. Life is going well. How are you doing, Ben Mintz?
I'm doing great. Got to get down on a Friday, even if it's not football season. Ready for Sweet 16 this weekend. It's interesting, the Sweet 16 doing the Saturday through Tuesday thing.
Yeah, I don't know that I like it.
No, it should have been Thursday.
We should have had games last night.
Yes, for
and
sure.
we should be getting ready for games tonight, and then we would already know the Elite Eight matchups in one region. But that's fine. It's fine. It's different. We can do it one year. I hope it does go back next year to the Thursday through Sunday. It's just natural.
It's perfect.
It feels the best.
It's going to feel weird that Tuesday ends the Elite Eight and the Final Four is that quick of a turnaround.
Yeah, for whoever wins late Tuesday night. I mean, of course, they don't have to travel. It's all in Indianapolis.
The one thing I will say, though, it makes the week go by fast.
Yeah, it will make the week go by fast.
The fact that we had big games on Monday,
yeah.
Like I feel like today's Wednesday, Thursday, it's Friday.
So down my way, down south, you'll have Mississippi State and Arkansas in a top 5 baseball series, number 2 against number 3.
Yeah, top 3.
Probably will sweep Arkansas. Won't be that big of a deal. Who do you guys play this weekend?
We're at Alabama, and I want to mention Birmingham got hit pretty hard with the tornado yesterday. They postponed the baseball game, but just thinking about Birmingham.
I miss everything about the South except one thing, and it is the crippling, terrifying threat of tornadoes during the spring. Once a week in the spring, you've got tornado threat. And as I've grown older, I guess the weather patterns have changed, and now the tornadoes we used to have, which were F1, F2, are now these F4 and F5 mammoths, and Alabama's become like the center of the tornado world. Tuscaloosa and Birmingham, that alley is terrifying. Every time the sky darkens, a tornado drops down on them.
Yeah, that 2011 one tore Tuscaloosa to pieces.
Yeah, well, 2011 tore everybody to pieces, but yeah, you're right. That Tuscaloosa's gotten ripped up a couple times.
Yeah, it's just I hate to see it. I'm glad I've got a lot of friends in the Birmingham area. I'm thinking about them, but the damage, there was some pretty bad damage.
I don't have any friends in Birmingham or anywhere else in Alabama or Mississippi, but thoughts go out to those people because it's a rough. You guys just don't. Tornado threats are just terrifying.
To be honest, I was thinking the whole time. I was like, tornadoes are in the South. I always thought they were like
Oklahoma, Texas,
Kansas.
Yeah.
Twister. You think
when
Twister?
You said tornado, Kansas was the first.
Well, that's Tornado Alley, and that's usually theirs happens later, like May, June, stuff like that. And but it like Tornado Alley has like shifted south in like the last 10 years. And Mississippi, Alabama, Louisiana, it's ground zero. It's terrifying. I don't know why I'm talking about it. It's not really.
Well, I just mentioned the Birmingham.
You did. So we got a lot going on in the world of sports that we want to talk about. Of course, we'll extensively talk about the Sweet 16. Extensively, because we're going to break all that down. I already have my picks ready for Saturday and Sunday. You guys don't have to have that. I have mine ready.
I have mine for tomorrow.
And I'm ready to talk about them. We had the NBA trade deadline yesterday. We might revisit that for a second. We're inside of a week to baseball opening day. So I'm going to throw some futures at you guys. I'm going to throw an MVP future that I love in the National League. I'd like to just go ahead and talk about those things.
Brandon, have you seen the breaking college basketball news? I don't know.
Is it Texas?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm getting there right now. But thank you. I appreciate that. I wanted to talk later. I want to talk about Micah Parsons running a 4.39.
Stunning.
Because this is a guy who he opted out, and he's sneaking into this draft, and I think he should be like a top 3 pick, and he's not going to be. So I want to talk about him later. UFC, huge fight this weekend. You've got Stipe Miocic against
Francis
Ngannou. You're a big UFC guy. We'll talk about that. And let's go ahead and talk about the breaking news. So Texas this year, I thought, had the chance to be a Final Four team. They ended up getting beat in the first round by Abilene Christian. But Shaka Smart, takes VCU to the Final Four in 2011, then ends up getting hired by Texas. And I think at the time, I know I certainly did, I thought, wow, this is exactly what Texas needs. Texas is about to be a power in basketball. He never really fit there, and today he's opted out. He's going back home to Milwaukee. He's going to coach at Marquette. What do you think about that?
He's from Wisconsin. I thought we were talking about it amongst our peers in the office today. I thought Jeff D'Lo made a great point. He's born and raised in Texas, for the record, so I think he's a good
Jeff D'Lo.
Yes, Jeff D'Lo. What did I not say, Jeff D'Lo?
Well, you did, but I just make sure it didn't come across that Shaka Smart was born and raised in Texas.
Oh yeah,
Jeff D'Lo was born and raised in Texas.
So
yes.
he has a good grasp of the Texas feel, and I think basically what he said is, listen, they can make a Final Four. They would basically take getting bounced like they did 20 years in a row just to make a college football playoff.
Yeah.
It's one of those things, no matter how good they are, which they haven't been that good, they just won't care. And I'd imagine he's in his career, they're below 500 in Big 12.
Yeah.
They didn't win a single NCAA tournament game. He's second fiddle. You're going to get treated second fiddle, especially you don't perform. I'm sure I'll go home. He's from Wisconsin, go to Marquette. He'll be the king of the castle, basketball school.
Being the basketball coach at Texas is like being the football coach at Kentucky.
For sure.
It's like you're never going to get top billing. You're never going to get – and that's got to be frustrating for a basketball guy. But going to Texas, I mean, he knew that. There was no surprise about that. What I'm shocked at, Ben, is that when Shaka went to Texas, I thought that meant success was coming, and he never reached that level.
Well, what's crazy to me is the most successful thing he's done is win the Big 12 tournament a week ago. And, I mean, it's the what have you done for me lately society. Well, but he loses to Abilene Christian, a private school in the state of Texas. That's a huge embarrassment for UT, and it's like that wipes away all the goodwill of winning the Big 12 tournament just immediately.
Yeah, I love this comment from Michael Dan Herter. I'm watching her along on YouTube right now. If you're listening to us on like a radio station somewhere in this great big country of ours, you can always follow along on YouTube every day at 11:55 Eastern to 12:55 Eastern. But Michael Dan Herter says Shaka can't coach his style at a powerhouse. He needs guys with a chip on their shoulder. It's hard to get 5 stars with that mindset. And that says exactly what I think about this situation better than I could say it. Because I was going to say he never really fit at Texas, whereas Marquette gets those Jimmy Butlers.
Gritty, yes.
Yeah.
When I think Marquette, I think Jimmy Butler.
You don't think Dwayne Wade?
I think Wade.
I think he was
before your time.
Young.
So
when he was in college, I was only like 6.
But Marquette is a big city school, and it gets those grinders, those get after you, get up in your shorts and defend the shit out of you. Whereas Texas gets, even in football, they get the 5-star glory hounds that you can win with them. Alabama wins with them, but there's also some risk because you're not going to get him to play as hard as maybe a Marquette. His style fits more at Marquette than it does at Texas. And I think the Shaka I thought we would see at Texas is probably going to be unlocked at Marquette.
Also Marquette, I think Milwaukee just fits like that grinder Midwest kind of style. Even though VCU wasn't Midwest, I think it kind of fits the mold of basketball that he plays.
Marquette is just so fucking college basketball. Like college football has the names, and you see Alabama succeeding, you see UCLA and all these other teams succeeding. But when I think of college basketball, I think of those teams that succeed in that sport and that sport alone, like Villanova,
Big East, basically.
Marquette, Big East, basically.
Yeah,
UConn.
Even.
Marquette is just a college basketball school. That is what they were seemingly put on this earth to do. And I think it's brilliant by Marquette it's like a post-hype sleeper in baseball, a guy that came up with all the hype and hasn't lived up to expectations, and 3 years down the road something clicks and he gets back to where you thought he was going to be the whole time. I think that's Shaka going to Marquette.
They also have some talent over there. Like they have Ohio State's basically best recruit last year transferred there. He was a sophomore this year. They had some big guys that are pretty good. They also, I like their uniforms a lot. I thought when Marquette? I said it, it was one of those mid saying it. I thought it was going to be popular because I'm so into them, but then I was like, they are kind of unique. I'm a fan of them.
Somebody says, Dilbo Gonzalez says, Brandon's jersey is great, but Big Av needs so much recognition for that awesome Carhartt shirt. Thing is clean.
Thank you.
So we're getting a lot of there's positive vibes in the chat today.
Good drip today,
Look,
Brandon.
I got to say,
thank you very much. It's about as good as I'm capable of looking.
I love seeing Brandon with the state baseball jersey.
It's a good jersey.
I'm glad to see Brandon fired up about some state baseball.
Yankees fan, big pinstripe guy.
Yeah,
always go for the pinstripes.
It's hard. Two things on this jersey that it's hard to fuck up. It's hard to fuck up pinstripes. It's hard to fuck up cursive logo.
I like that it just says state as well.
Any cursive logo looks good.
I think it just saying state is clean. Mississippi State's a lot of letters.
Yeah, a lot of letters.
State is strong.
Brandon looks way cooler than Ev today. Okay, Austin Levine, come on, we don't have to start that.
Yeah, but you tried harder though.
I tried so hard. I planned this out 3 days ago.
I know you did.
I planned the shoes. I planned everything out 3 days ago. Yeah, I am competing with you at this point.
That's fair.
I'm going to call out Ole Miss athletic department.
Let's do that.
Brandon's got a great state jersey. I've been hearing I'm getting a baseball jersey sometime soon. I'm saying it. Let's will this into existence.
You better hope that gets lost in the mail.
I need my powder blue Ole Miss
Baby
baseball
blue
jersey.
plays always.
Fuck that. I don't care.
Powder blues always play. It doesn't matter what team, school, franchise, powder blue always plays.
Script is the name, not cursive, Brandon. No, it's cursive. That's cursive. Cursive and script are the same thing, right?
Yeah,
They're the same thing. Why would you correct that?
Yeah,
I
I
say
feel like
both. I
that's
don't really
something
have
very
a-
mundane to argue over.
Yeah. That's what if you're on YouTube arguing script versus cursive at noon on a Friday, go get some pussy, man. Come on, what are we doing?
Also, another thing, it's stunning how much in school, as even for me, they just drilled cursive into your brain, and you just don't use it ever besides signing your name.
Shit. By the way, I exclusively write in cursive. I am a great. Can we zoom in on this? I have some of the best handwriting you will ever see in your life. Look at this handwriting. Is that good handwriting? That's on TV there, Big O.
That does
Look at that handwriting.
It's not bad.
That
It's
is
solid.
It's a hell of a lot better
beautiful.
than mine. Mine's
Yeah, it's not
mine's
bad.
I have-
Mine's horrible.
Fantastic handwriting.
Honestly, I just don't write things on paper very much.
I
just don't write that often if I really think about it.
I'm a
if I break
notebook,
it
and now
down.
I have a stain on my shirt. I'm a notebook guy. I love writing my thoughts down in notebooks so that I have them for later. It's a very old thing.
I'm a big notes app guy.
I do that on the train coming in. Then I
I just write random thoughts in it.
I transfer it from my notes app to my notebook.
That's what I do, too.
My whole morning is notes. Look, that's a good thing about up here. Usually, where I've lived before, you have to drive, you have to commute. Here, I can use my commute to actually do something, to work on the train and stuff like that. How long is your commute? Well, actually, you're in Hoboken. Yours 20 minutes?
15
Yeah.
tops.
And then of course, you have a longer walk than I do, but it's not that long.
I mean, it's like a block and a half.
Yeah.
Mine's 4 minutes.
One
but it is
avenue, one block.
I do agree with your point of the iPhone Notes app. I feel like Barstool all the time. I have these random ideas. If I don't write them down, I'll forget them, and so I'm constantly doing that too.
Those are usually where I put my best picks too, because sometimes I go back and realize I faded what I originally thought, and that drives me nuts.
Here's another guy that figured out the algorithm. Compliment me. You get your thing ready. He says, Brandon, you're beautiful. Can you guys talk about the Knicks? I mean, Knicks are good.
We sure can.
Knicks are a good
comeback.
basketball team.
They were down 17 yesterday in the third quarter. Come all the way back. Not only win, they cover the spread. Unbelievable.
It's one of those.
This team has no quit.
That's one of those games that makes me feel double sharp. You know why? Because I bet the Knicks, but I felt like it was a rat and they were going to be in for. I felt like it was very, very dangerous, and it was dangerous.
Oh yeah, they were down.
It was
15 and a half.
very dangerous, but they ended up coming. And that's the mark of a pretty good team. You struggle and then you come back. Julius Randle's a good ass basketball player.
People are. He still isn't getting. Do you see the turnaround, fadeaway jump
Yeah.
shots he's making to seal the wins at the end of games?
He's always been a good player. He's always been underrated though.
He tore his knee up that first year in the NBA.
When LA changed and went the LeBron direction, I always thought if they could have, I don't remember exactly the timeline if he was gone before, but I think it was close. If they could have figured out how to have LeBron and Randle on the same team, that would have been really, really good. We would have unlocked Randle, but now we're getting to unlock Randle now because he's the star of the team.
He's unbelievable. I mean, I think he leads us in every category right now. I mean, I think he's averaging 23, 11, maybe 5 or maybe 6. I mean, we just have a ton of guys that can score too. Alec Burks, this guy, he's had some he's been that classic decent role player on some teams, but I mean, he's dropping I think he had 26 last night.
Yeah,
he was unbelievable.
Brandon, you are stunning. Can we get your thoughts on the Aaron Gordon trade? Yeah, so
the new stunning Steve Austin over here.
I love that. That's a stone cold observation right there. I don't love anything, but I think the Nuggets easily won this trade deadline. And I think a lot of the contenders lost the trade deadline. A lot of contenders just kind of sat still, didn't really do much. The Sixers added a backup point guard.
The Bulls thing was pretty big.
Yeah, but they're not a contender, really. I
mean, they're going to make playoffs.
I guess they're backline contender.
Was the best player that was moved.
Yeah, but I think
actually Oladipo. You argue both.
But with fit, I think Aaron Gordon fits so well with Denver. Denver needed a little toughness on the front line. Denver needed a little extra scoring punch. They already score a lot.
Great defender.
But defensively, he's going to make them so much better. He fits like a glove inside of what they do. I think Denver got a lot more interesting and good yesterday.
And I think just the fact that he wanted out, I feel like this was the team that is going to when you go from Orlando actually was not horrible this year. I think they were competing for that 8th spot, but I mean, go from not a real non-contender to a legitimate contender. I feel like that just lights a fire under.
And not just contender. I think they're a contender with style. They're a contender that plays a fun brand of basketball. They're a contender that what you would want to go run. Remember when the Warriors were really going and ball movement, everybody shooting threes? That looked like fun as hell to play in. Spurs moving the ball, getting your shots. That look very fun. Denver looks like a joy to play basketball with their star
Murray, Jokic, and then Porter's going to be good too.
Yeah. Porter's really good.
Yeah,
Jokic's the favorite to win MVP right now.
Wow, really?
He's a pick him to win it. He's -110 to win MVP.
Well, with LeBron out, I mean the MVP is fully up for grabs in the NBA.
I thought the Pelicans kind of won the trade deadline just because they kept Lonzo Ball. I thought you
wanted to get rid of him.
No. I want to build around Lonzo
and Zion, huh?
Well, Zion, Ingram. I love Ingram, too. Ingram's a great number 2, and they signed him for 5 years. But Lonzo's going to be a restricted free agent. They're probably going to have to pay him $18-20 million a year, but Zion's still in the rookie contract. I want to build around him. He's been hitting 45% of his threes the last 2 months. So I want to build around those 3 guys.
Yeah, I like Ingram the least out of that group. I feel like I think he's a volume scorer in an era where volume scoring is kind of out.
He's not like super inefficient though. That's the only thing I'd say.
He's got a clean game.
Like that's what I'm saying. Like he doesn't like he's not one of those guys that goes like 10 for like 25. Like he's more of like a 10 for 20 guy, which I think is pretty acceptable.
The only thing with Ingram is he disappears in fourth quarters. Bad, real bad.
Does he really?
Yeah, it's weird. I don't understand why, but it's fourth quarter games on the line. There's some problems.
By the way, Lon Kruger retired also in college basketball, so that's 2 Big 12 jobs. It's just 2 tournament jobs, two good jobs. With like Texas has talent right now.
A lot of talent. I'd imagine a lot of Texas talent's going to the league.
It's interesting to see like a couple years ago, Alabama, Arkansas were open. They were open jobs, and they hired Nate Oates. They hired Musselman, and 2 years later, they're both in the Sweet 16. Both favored to go to the Elite Eight. Both could go to the Final Four. That happened in 2 years. What's Texas going to – are they going to get a Nate Oates level guy? They're going to attract a big guy.
Even with those, what I was going to say, Musselman, you could say kind of a bigger name guy. Like Nevada had a lot of success. But even Nate Oates from Buffalo, like it wasn't like he's some like huge name.
I think Arkansas was a sleeping giant of a program. You know, in the 90s, Arkansas was one of the best programs in the country.
40 minutes of hell.
I think that Arkansas, with the money they got to Walmart, Arkansas was a sleeping giant of a program. Now, Alabama – what Nate Oates is doing is crazy because Alabama fans are going to watch this weekend, but they don't give a shit. If in Tuscaloosa, if you aired the Alabama Sweet 16 game and the Alabama spring football game at the same time, ain't nobody watching that basketball game.
Yeah.
And that's just the truth. So what he's doing, I wonder if Nate Oates moves on somewhere else. Not now, but if he puts in 2 or 3 years, does he get the Duke job when it comes open? Does he get the Kentucky job when it comes open?
I think it's very in play with what he's doing and the style they play too. Like I'm no fan of the University of Alabama, but that's one of the most fun basketball teams to watch, dude. When they get hot from 3 and start raining like they did against Maryland, man, it's something to watch.
I think Arkansas and Bama are both very fun. They both like to go up tempo. They get up a lot of shots. LSU was the same way. So there's an exciting brand of basketball in the SEC. If not, maybe it's not a great brand of basketball yet, but it's trending in the right direction.
And I want to mention too, y'all see the Barstool Sportsbook bet thing we've got this weekend, where if you deposit $100 in the Barstool Sportsbook, you can place 4 $25 futures on teams to win the national title, and you get $100 value on each. So if you go put 100 in, you put 25 on Bama, which is 11-1 right now. It wins $275 cash, and it wins $825 in bonus cash.
That's pretty good.
44-1 on your damn money on an 11-1. So I want to make sure I mention that promo. I mean, that's great.
Logan Seat Huck says, could Porter Moser be a candidate for Texas? Porter Moser just a guy that seems like he's happy where he is.
Well, honestly, there's another thing we were talking about out here before the show started. He doesn't have this, like, he didn't rise up the ranks to get to this spot. He got fired from Bradley. He basically was 500 every other year besides the Final Four year and then this year.
But he just figured it out.
So he's kind of had like 2 special groups, I guess you could say. But he hasn't had this like Nate Oates where he went here was good, went here was good, bang, big job.
All right, NASCAR is set to make history this weekend. NASCAR, when the NASCAR Cup Series makes its return to dirt racing for the first time in over 50 years, and the Barstool Sportsbook is here to get you in on the action. NASCAR on dirt. In Bristol, incredible. I like everything about that is iconic. A lot to bet on with NASCAR. Stay tuned for our picks later this week, and be sure to tune in. We'll have our picks before Sunday's race. Be sure to tune in to the Bristol Dirt Race this Sunday at 3:30 p.m. on Fox. I'm just looking at the odds right here. I love. Let's see. You never go wrong with a Busch guy, right? I don't know who the best dirt guys are though.
I don't know.
Denny Hamlin's always a safe bet.
As Spider and Quiggs of the
Truex
guys.
seems like a dirt race guy.
It sounds like a dirt race name.
It does. It sounds very dirty.
Like
Truex Jr.
I don't know. Truex.
I love betting Truex. I always bet Truex.
Busch sounds more like a dirt guy.
Yeah. Busch.
Shrub.
That's
dirt.
right. Busch. Vagina.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah.
Dirt. Yep.
Yeah. Well, Where you been?
What? No, I'm saying
If you compare vagina to dirt.
no. Well, I'm saying like bush, dirt. It's all
I see,
dark.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Correct. Yeah. Denny Hamlin's plus 3,000 to win this thing, though. So, all right, that is the dirt race, NASCAR dirt race in Bristol, 3:30 p.m. Eastern Time on Fox. Brandon, incredible ad read, lead by example. Thank you, Brian Landrigan. Why in the world did Big Cat do that? Why did he do that?
I caught the very end of it, so I didn't.
He walked up to right in front of the studio. He looked dead at me, and he did the Undertaker throat slash.
Oh, wow.
You're easily flappable.
I'm not. I am.
Yeah.
Maybe it was a Mississippi State jersey.
I'm a very flappable guy. Are you flappable?
No, not really. That's why he doesn't do it to me because I wouldn't even flinch.
Oh, you would have flinched.
No, I would have just been like, okay.
Are you flappable? Yeah, you're flappable. No, you're a poker player. You're not flappable.
It's a constant battle because I have so much energy.
With flaps?
But no, I just have so much energy, but then I have to try to stay even keeled, and my mind's all over the place, so it's a battle.
Where is Owen? I invited Owen to be here every day. Owen's not here today.
Did he not go 4-5-0, so he didn't come?
Oh, you're accusing
joking.
him of being Rico-like?
I'm joking, dude.
Speaking of, if you're wondering where Rico is, I was wondering the same thing because his contract usually gets him here occasionally, but I don't think he really honors the contract anymore. This morning, let's see, he says, we asked for picks. Rico said out. I said, not even doing picks. Dan chimes in, says, Rico needs a space, please. Rico says, thank you. He has some oblos this weekend. Monday starts anew, pending the rumors have died down. I got a good mind just to reach out to the rumored guy and just bring him in for next week on Pick Central.
He's doing a good job of. He tweets out the show link every day, even when he's not on it, though. So
Rico does?
Yeah.
Well, shout out to Rico. Thank you. Then I won't.
He'll
do
be
that.
here Monday.
I try to.
That was in Rico language. That was he'll be here Monday.
Although the Barguments video just did drop.
Oh, it just dropped?
So
I've been wondering when there goes our audience.
So I need to. From what I was told, I haven't seen the video. From what I was told,
I was in the argument.
Is it? I was told it wasn't like as bad as some people were making it out to be.
It was.
I'm ready to see it.
So I was told I was told what he did, and I don't think it was as. I think it's more funny. Like I think it was a funny move.
It wasn't. He wasn't joking though.
But it's still funny.
I guess if someone's
I need to watch.
I guess funny, yes.
I guess I need to watch it still before.
Depends on how funny you think psycho behavior is. Sure, there
was one gesture he did that I thought was funny.
He got tremendously mad and just yelled. He didn't cuss her though. I will say this: I don't think he didn't directly like cuss her or. In fact, he yelled like at the room. He didn't turn and yell at her face. You'll see it if you want to watch.
I was told he made a certain gesture with the cards that I think was fun. That sounded funny.
I don't remember. It was like
it sounded funny.
It was. I'm an eyewitness and I can't remember all the details because if like you're sitting at a bomb and you watch a bomb go off, everything's like crazy and you can't remember everything.
It's like a big blur.
Everything's a big blur. So yeah, check it out. Check out Barguments video. Another thing you should check out on Barstool, Jeff DeLoe every Friday releases the rankings for the dozen. What are you doing?
Anyway, there's some good news coming with that, with our team, I think.
What's good news with your team?
With the dozen.
Have you moved up, you think?
I think we moved up. I think
weren't you at 4?
Oh, we were at 6.
You were at 6?
Rankings are out for that also.
Yeah, so I guess that's something you can't spoil, right? I mean, that's not...
I mean, it's on Twitter.
That's just on Twitter.
Out now. Yeah, we broke into the big screaming honkers who've only been together for 4 or 5 games have now broken into the top 5. So
which is bullshit.
Beat y'all twice. Beat you with Fran.
I have played 70 times, and we're 10 games over 500, and we're ranked behind people that are 1-1, 2-1.
I think we're 4-1, and we're 2.
Do it 70 times.
Well, no, I get it. I think the fan favorite, that thing is helping us too.
Why is no one talking about how cool Mintz is, says Jonathan Brightsky, but Nova will beat Baylor? Well, I have a couple of ideas why they're not talking about how cool Ben Mintz is. Yeah, I don't think Nova's beating Baylor.
Neither do I.
Let's dive in the Sweet 16.
Let's do it.
We'll get to UFC and baseball later and whatever you guys want to talk about. We're just having fun talking sports on a fucking Friday. If you want to weigh in, we got the YouTube open. If you're out there in this great big country, you can always check out the YouTube.
I'm just going to say something.
Please.
Oregon State's my favorite play of the weekend. That's it.
Really?
I'm going to give other plays on Oregon State. Getting the points is my favorite play of the weekend.
I don't mind that. They were.
I think the Loyola train has gotten very, very. A lot of people have gotten on board very quickly.
Ben had a fantastic point yesterday that if you believe in Loyola, you can't believe in the under. The under is so low Like, it just doesn't make sense. A 7-point spread there and the under. You can, talk about it more than I can.
My point was, I think 6.5 or 7 in a game with over-unders in the 120s is like getting 10 or 11 when it's in the 150s. It's just so hard to lay 7. And we saw there were 2 first-round games with almost this exact same line. Purdue, North Texas, and Virginia, Ohio. They're almost the exact same thing. 6.5, 7, 125. And, you see all those games go. You just don't want to lay 8, 10, 7 points when the score is going to be 60-55.
Mainframe Hacker says, Brandon is handsome. Florida State's going to the Elite Eight. Let's go game by game. All right, so Oregon State Loyola is Saturday. I think Loyola's winning the game. I think of all the games here, I kind of foresee a boring weekend because I feel like there's going to be, like, I think Baylor's covering the 7.5. I think Gonzaga's covering the 13. But I think Loyola's winning, but I think Oregon State is covering the spread. I think this is a tight game through and through. I don't think there's ever going to be much separation between these teams. I think defensively Loyola's very good, but Oregon State's been hot as hell. And I think Oklahoma State was a very good defensive 3-point team, and they just shot the lights out against them. So I love Oregon State to cover. I'm not going to say Oregon State money line, but you feel like Oregon State's probably winning the game, right?
I'm going to sprinkle it. My pick is like heavy getting the points. People are forgetting, in the stretch run they've had, they've beaten UCLA in the Sweet 16.
Right.
They've beaten Oregon, obviously, in the Sweet 16.
Yeah.
They beat the crap out of Oregon.
They beat the shit out of Tennessee. Yeah, they beat the shit out of Oregon,
Colorado
too.
Pac-12 title game.
They just beat Oklahoma State.
Handled them, too.
Handled Oklahoma State the entire game.
With the best team in the country, best player in the country.
For real. This team is legit, I'm telling you.
Yeah, I love, I mean, they've had one of the better runs of
like, you don't just
tournament.
fluky beat all those teams in a row. This team is real
and
team,
you look
a
back at the
serious team.
time, we had no idea how strong winning the Pac-12 tournament was, and now all of a sudden that looks ridiculous.
Yeah, it looks ridiculous.
And most of the games ran through them. Like, we're winning wire to wire pretty much all those games.
Certainly Oklahoma State. I was watching the Oklahoma State game, and I'm thinking, well, at some point, it just never came.
Because even I think it might have been UCLA. They went to OT, but they even kind of like collapsed. Like, they were winning the whole game. UCLA, I think it was UCLA, whoever it was, came back at the end, and they still won in OT.
So I love Oregon State. You love Oregon State.
Slightly lean Oregon State, and the points don't have a strong love. This one's interesting to me. Both these teams seem like they get out to leads a lot and are really good when they get the lead. And so I'm just very curious to see who does jump to that lead, because it seems like they're both hard to come back on.
Shout out to my boy Mark in Philly. Gave me a good stat this morning. Everybody wants to, it's a low total. Oregon State's gone over 8 of the last 9 games. And Loyola, even with their defense, they went over against Illinois. So don't be scared of that low number. Over.
I might get on the over there. That's just so low. I mean, 65, 61's an over here.
Baylor has settled into what I think. I mean, they just kind of seem like they're on cruise control. And Villanova is a team that I believe their run so far is a little fraudish. And that they beat a 12 seed and then they beat a 13 seed. They didn't get tested in either game. They shot the ball extremely well. Everything that they did well in their last game, Baylor is going to be able to shut that down. I think Baylor beats Villanova and beats Villanova handily.
Yeah, my only pause is that I feel like everyone kind of thinks that, but I think they think that for the right reasons. They've just been the more dominant team all year long. They're the more healthy team. They're just overall, they're a better basketball team, whether they win or lose.
I said it yesterday, but when Gillespie went out, we all kind of punished Villanova with good reason, but it hasn't shown yet because they haven't faced a defensive team to really make it show. Baylor will make it show. I think Baylor will be the one team that you look at Villanova. Why is their offense not running so smooth? They don't have Gillespie, and I think Baylor covers the game with these. What do you think?
I actually love Baylor here too. I know this is funny because we're all just agreeing on everything, but I think this one sets up extremely well because Villanova blew North Texas out and everybody saw them looking good, and they shot out of their minds in that game. Baylor finally, kind of been struggling at the end of the year after the COVID break. Didn't play as well in the Big 12 tournament. Thought they played great against Wisconsin. The guys they're shooting a lot better from the 3-point line, which has been a big strength of those 3 guards they've got. I think Baylor about 15 here.
Jean-Michael Zibanowski says, Brandon, nice hair. Do you think Sam Darnold stays in New York? I don't think it matters. I think Sam Darnold stinks. That's my answer to that question.
I mean, the Jets are going to draft a quarterback.
Yeah.
I think at least.
I mean, you got a new regime, new coach. I think it's time to turn. It's probably turning page time.
Wilson. I'd say Wilson's probably their guy.
That scares me so much. BYU didn't play anybody last year.
See, now I'm in the weird spot where Sims had the good record and Sims just loves him.
Yeah.
They say his arm talent is crazy. Like, when you watch him throw, he throws a pretty ball, but I agree. Like, I feel like he just didn't have to throw those tight windows.
I never thought during that playoff game where Justin Fields just absolutely was incredible against Clemson. I never thought we'd get till today. And Justin Fields is like, I thought he'd be number 2 with a bullet. I thought it'd go Lawrence, Fields, and then we figure out the rest of the draft. Fields isn't there anymore. He's like, might be a top 10 pick, might be a top 5 pick, might be a top 20. Like, I don't know what they're going to do with Justin Fields.
What now I feel like the guys like the Kuiper and them are saying is that they all think there's going to be at least 4 guys taking the top, 8. So
that means Mac Jones sneaks in there? Is he the 4th one?
Even Lance, potentially.
Oh, Trey Lance. I forgot about him.
I've been seeing a lot of where Fields could be the guy that people trade up for, which I'm very I would love to see him in a scenario like a San Fran. I think San Fran would be the perfect fit for him as a quarterback.
I think he may go to Carolina and play for Joe Brady.
Even Carolina's fine too. I just think he needs. I just don't want to see him to go to the Jets or one of these just god awful organizations, because then when he turns out bad, everyone's going to say he's trash when he just ended up in a horrible spot. I want to see my guy go to a good spot, good offense, good players around him. Because now it's where everyone's so against him, it makes me believe in him even that much more.
If you we got off on a little tangent there on football because somebody asked a question. I'm like a bird. If you throw something, I'll just do that. My attention will go quickly. But back to the NCAA tournament. Out of the 8 games in the Sweet 16, this is the one I feel I'm most certain of as far as the bet goes. I think Arkansas -11 against Oral Roberts. Bet it. Don't worry about it. Lock, stock, and barrel. I think Arkansas is going to beat the living hell out of Oral Roberts. Oral Roberts, great story. Everything good. Florida, like Ben Min said yesterday, Florida, an average basketball team, overseeded. They were basically an NIT team. Oral Roberts beat them. They beat Ohio State. That was their big moment. Then they beat Florida. I think Arkansas is a different animal. They come at you in waves. I can't see Oral Roberts staying within the number here. It's weird for you because you're an Ohio State fan. You saw him beat your team. So.
No, I've flipped that way. That was when I wrote in my notes that I'm not letting myself flip back on it, because even yesterday I said Oral Roberts. They played them already. They won by 11. They shot horrendously. Even beating Ohio State, I give them the credit. They beat us. We played horrendously, absolutely horrendously. If Arkansas plays even a decent basketball game, they should beat the shit out of them.
This also comes to the point I mentioned about the totals. I don't mind laying 11 when the over-under is 159. I mean, this is going to be a high-scoring game.
Ben, do you think there's an element of a team like Oral Roberts, and they're the second 15 to ever get to the Sweet 16, Florida Gulf Coast back in 2011, 2012. Do you think there's an element of a team like Oral Roberts, a 15 seed, using their emotion? They beat Ohio State, using that emotion to beat Florida, using that bump to beat Florida, and then a week later they look around there in the Sweet 16 like, oh shit, we're in the Sweet 16. I feel like there's going to be some sort of adjustment for them here where they're going to kind of realize the moment, and the moment's going to eat them alive.
No, I could see that. What's interesting is they play so Tulsa and Fayetteville are only an hour and a half apart. So Oral Roberts plays them in baseball and basketball every year. Does that familiarity with Arkansas make them more or less comfortable in that situation? I don't know.
Well, yeah, having played them already probably does help a little bit.
They said the fact Arkansas played horrendously, won by 11.
But that was it was
super early in the year.
That was before Arkansas became Arkansas.
Very, very early.
We didn't think Arkansas was going to be this good.
They were 1-4 in the SEC.
It wasn't until February when Arkansas really became Arkansas, and Muss is in his second year. At some point this year, it flipped for him, and this is going to be Arkansas from here on out. They're going to be I think they're going to be a national title worthy team for the next 5 or 6 years as long as Muss is there. He's that good of a coach.
The fan base.
They're not. I don't think they're national title worthy right now, but I think coming soon they will be. And their fan base is awful. I hate them.
Yeah, but they support it though.
Oh, they do. They just Bud Walton Arena.
Oh,
when Arkansas is going, it is one of the best places in the country. Give me a full hyped Bud Walton Arena over that old library ass Rupp Arena all day, every day.
Yeah, no, it gets the Arkansas fan base. There's no lack of passion, and as you said, they got the money. They will throw down cheese to keep Musselman.
Mm-hmm. I like that he called money cheese.
Yep.
Yeah,
Dogs.
I haven't heard money referred to as cheese in a long time. Is that a southern thing? Y'all call money cheese?
Yeah, Poker World.
Poker,
blue cheese. That's why I'm addicted to blue cheese.
Cheesed up. Somebody's rich in the Poker World. They say these cheesed up.
It's back into blue cheese.
Whoop-dee.
Those Hunnits.
What was that
cheese.
noise?
Brandon, we like all the same
Whoop-dee by
games.
CJ.
It's interesting. We've liked every game. We've thought the same on it. I know the next one we do too because we've discussed it.
We'll talk about the next one. Speaking of liking things, how about those drinks right there? Body Armor Edge. I'm looking at the Orange Frenzy, the Tropical Chaos, the Berry Blitz, the Power Punch. I haven't had the Power Punch yet. I might have that very, very soon. I've had the Tropical Chaos. It is my favorite. It is delicious. Big Ev's got the Body Armor water in front of him, but if he needed a boost, if he needed that coffee, that caffeine kick, it's got 100 milligrams of caffeine in it, has 1,000 milligrams of electrolytes to get everybody going throughout the day to replenish you from a hard night of doing whatever, or maybe from a soft night of doing whatever. I have no hard nights anymore, at least, well, maybe twice a month, but they only last 2 minutes at a time. Anyway, Body Armor Edge, delicious, fantastic. Check it out. You can find it at 7-Eleven, anywhere across this country, Body Armor Edge. All right. What's the next game? It's Syracuse and Houston, right?
Yeah.
Again, I feel very, very – this is a camera angle right here. I feel very, very certain I'm fat-necked, all right? I'm working on it. I understand I have a fat neck. Syracuse and Houston. I love Syracuse, and this is one I need to talk to you about this. I'm irrationally confident right now because last week I had a very good week in college basketball. I've had a good March Madness. So I might be, pigs get fed, hogs get slaughtered.
Yeah.
I'm a hog right now. So I'm coming in. I'm not sprinkling any of these money lines. I'm betting these money lines. I'm not betting. Like Syracuse plus 6.5, I don't want the 6.5. You keep it. I'm taking Syracuse money line. I'm doing it in a couple of other games. So I'm in a dangerous spot. If I'm right, I'm going to have a great weekend. If I'm wrong, I'm might fuck myself. But I love Syracuse to beat Houston, and that's plus 235 on the money line.
So Houston, I did a little research. I kind of made a comment yesterday on here that Houston struggles shooting. They do. Grimes, their star, does shoot 42% from three, but the rest of the team doesn't shoot well. And every time I've seen Houston this year play against, granted, I've only seen them 4 times, though, so maybe that's not enough.
Seen them play Memphis.
I've seen them Memphis twice, Rutgers, and I saw them hammer Cincinnati in the AAC title game. But they struggle on offense against pretty good defenses. That was a miracle they won that Rutgers game. That was absurd, and Syracuse is so hot. I think the 2-3 zone is going to give them problems.
So I
like under 2, by the way. I think 140.5 is too high here.
I am a little scared about the obvious. This is like the biggest fruit on the tree. This feels like you're going up and is this fruit going to poison me? But again, Houston against Rutgers, there was nothing impressive about that whatsoever. Is that their worst game on the Final Four run? Maybe, but I just love Syracuse a lot better than Houston.
I've said from the beginning, I don't think Houston's that good.
I don't think so either.
They're not. They're just not that good.
Their power ranking, Vegas does those power ratings. They were great at beating the shit out of terrible teams. And so they'd win by 20 or 30 against all these bad teams, and that's why this line's 6.5 is because it affected their power rating.
I shouldn't let it bother me. I have to just go off on something right now. There's a piece of shit in the YouTube comments saying, "Where's my wife's name?" He's saying my wife's name. Saying, where is she? You piece of shit, cunt ass bitch motherfucker. Fuck you. Don't ever fucking do that again, you piece of shit. All right. His name is Evan. It's probably the guy in New York, Delaware who stalks me and he makes accounts with her name and with my son's picture. And it bothers me every time it happens. He wins. I know he's in my head. But you shouldn't show up on YouTube asking, where is my wife? And saying her name. Okay, congratulations. You stalked me, and you went back to Mississippi. You found out my wife's name. Congratulations, you piece of shit, loser-ass bitch. Sorry. That makes me very mad.
I agree, Brad.
You're not out of line.
I am fat. Hold on. I'm fat. I have titties. I do things. I push Devlin. I do that. Fine. Everything Brandon Walker does is you can do whatever you want. You start talking about my wife's name. You use my kid's picture for your little anonymous accounts. Go fuck yourself, you piece of motherfucking shit. Okay. Sorry.
No, you don't have to apologize for that one. I feel the same way.
But I'm sorry to people that's the guy that stalks me. I know his name. I know where he's from. I know his mom's name. All right. I know everything about him. I've got his picture. I could put it out right now. But I've decided not to do it because I feel like I'm a better person than that. But God damn it, you live in New York, Delaware. That's all I'll tell you. All right. Big F, talk about something.
My grandmother's from Delaware. She's very nice, though. She's kind. She's a good woman. As is your wife.
She sounds lovely.
I guess you take it a little bit as you've made it big when you have stalkers like that.
It's just the same. It's the same. I don't have stalkers. I have one. I have one guy, and he's made accounts with Tommy's face.
That should be illegal. Seriously, that should be illegal to do that shit. I think.
That broke my whole rhythm. This was a good show.
Well,
so I love
Syracuse.
I love Syracuse to win the game.
I feel like how public. The only thing I'm worried about is how public it is. But
yeah, no, it's bothersome.
So
I love the under too, under 140. Why is the total so high?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, all right.
See, the total being high.
We're getting along too good these days.
You can look at it a couple ways. You can look at it as Houston's going to score, or you can look at it as it's going to be more of a Cuse kind of game.
Yeah.
In the sense of like it being 140 makes me think that they think Houston's going to score some points, at least a little bit, because Houston kind of can play both ways. They can kind of get in like a run a little bit, and they can go really slow, like you saw against Rutgers.
Here's the thing about Syracuse and their defense. Like, I see their defense and what they do to people. I think under. Well, Syracuse, West Virginia didn't go under. Went over.
Yeah.
It was what, 75-72? It would have been over this number by 7 points.
It went over by like a point on free throws, and that was a high.
But it was 148, right?
It was 147.
Yeah.
147.
So, but that went over this number by 7 or 8. Now, I think West Virginia's a better scoring. No, I know West Virginia's a better scoring team than Houston. But just don't assume, because if a team's got to play catch up and the open, they're going to get the threes. If Boeheim's hot, Syracuse is going to score.
And he's at a point right now where it's almost like he's going to get hot at some point in the game. Because he's had a few of these games where even that first half against West Virginia, he was cold. He came out in the second half, hit, I think, 6 threes. I mean, I think Houston is very open to kind of doing what you do. Like, if you go slow like Rutgers did, they'll go slow. If you want to chuck shots and go fast, they'll go fast.
And that's
also
a good skill to have in the
Which
tournament.
almost makes me like kind of like the over, because Houston's going to shoot a lot of threes. That's just what they're going to do.
Houston
we all know
is
that.
the second highest or second lowest opponent's points per game team in the country.
They held teams to 36% field goal percentage.
It's them and Loyola Chicago at the top of the country for lowest.
Tyler Dugan says y'all are undervaluing Houston's defense. They can absolutely take Buddy out of the game. Syracuse
they foul a lot.
Has no consistent offense outside of that. Fair enough.
No, it's valid. That's valid for sure.
Syracuse, you don't want to get behind them. You see they did it the last 2 games, man. They play really well with the lead.
Somebody says y'all like Syracuse too much. That very much.
No, that very well could be that.
I feel like I'm reaching in with all these bets. I feel like I'm reaching into a den of rattlesnakes and just dangling my hand, waiting for something to bite me.
What's going with you right now? That's what happened to me on Monday. I just had 3 great days.
You got confident. Yeah.
I got super confident. Went big on everything. Money lines. Lost everything but 2 games. And I feel like this weekend I'm struggling whether Oregon State I love so much I won't get off them. There's certain games like this one. And then Baylor is giving me some, it almost seems just too easy. Baylor seems too easy and Q seems too easy.
Let's look towards Sunday. Then I want to talk about UFC because you're a big UFC guy. I don't think you get enough credit for being the UFC guy you are.
I think it's happened. I just became such a nut the last year and a half.
Because of quarantine?
I talked to Rob. There's certain guys in the office, like Robbie, I text about it.
Yeah.
Jack Mack's UFC guy. Chuck Naso's UFC guy.
Yeah.
I just zone out at home.
When we started quarantine and UFC was the first thing back, and they were doing those, just in quarantine, those fights, and I watched for about 6 months. I just watched everything. I kind of fell out of it, but I love it. I just don't have much room on my sports calendar to fit them in.
See, I don't do that. I think
with my fake sports of wrestling, I can't fit in a real sport.
I don't
the
do
late
wrestling.
night
I think it's
thing,
kind of it's kind of become my wrestling for you. I just watch the shit out of it.
Yeah.
The only thing I don't give picks, it's so hard to fucking gamble on it, and the lines are so big.
Yeah.
It only I'll give out some dogs every now and then, but it is so hard. Well, you think you just think you know something, and then bang, lights out. You don't know.
That's why I kind of fell out of it, because I fell into these traps of gambling. I would watch a fight night or a big card, and I would just go, 5 straight underdog parlay or this or that. And I would just get into these very public, very stupid, and I would just be pissing money away. I don't educate myself about it. I just piss money away.
The favorite parlays will get you. Because all it takes is one catches one big shot. Those tiny gloves, man, you can be, it doesn't matter.
Why? Why is he doing that?
I told you, because look how wound up he get. Think about it like this.
He looks good today.
He just made, he does. You think about it like this. He made a single hand. He didn't even say a word to you. His mouth did not open. He made a single movement gesture with his hand, and we're still talking about it right now.
All right, so let's go through the Sunday games real quick. Gonzaga -13 against Creighton. I lean heavily Gonzaga. I'm just driving the Gonzaga train. I think they're about to waltz to a national title. That's what I think. Anybody leaning Creighton?
It's hard. The only reason to say Creighton is just to blindly take dogs.
Yeah.
Man, I just think it's one of those things. It's hard for these private schools to beat Gonzaga because Gonzaga is just more athletic, well coached. I think it's a bad matchup for Creighton.
Oklahoma should have even covered, and even they didn't cover.
And I
they should have.
Also think that Vegas knows Gonzaga's so good. They're doing the whole make these lines so high that make it hard to bet Gonzaga, which makes me like them even more.
I love Florida State.
God, bless me like everyone.
I love Florida State against Michigan, and I don't love again. My cocky confidence is stupid. Florida State money line. I think they're beating Michigan.
I think I'm back in.
It's only
Michigan.
plus 116.
I think I bought back in on Michigan.
And continuing that, I got UCLA money line beating Alabama, slowing Alabama down, getting that defense out there, getting into them shooters. I like UCLA to beat Alabama.
I like Bama.
Is this where we diverge?
I don't know who I like in that one.
I like
that one's the one that I've been going back and forth on. I do like Florida State. I gave out Florida State 9-1 to win that regional before the tournament too.
I think I think Maryland's defense very good. Scored a shit ton of them. They were hot, but that's what they do. They have 5 guys that can shoot threes.
They just
legitimately shoot threes.
Petty's.
I'm on the
key.
Bama train.
Petty was struggling a little bit in the SEC tourney, but when he's hitting, ooh.
But even like they got Shackelford, Quinterly. Like they have so many guys. And I also may or may not be holding a ticket of Bama 20-1 to the national championship.
Sab Rossi says, I think I have to fade Brandon because of how confident he is. I think that's probably pretty savvy. Again, pigs get fat, hogs get slaughtered. I've had a very good tournament, and I'm
belly full of winners just ready to get capped.
I'm standing on the mountaintop of NCAA winners so far, but the mountaintop is a cliff, and you could fall off and die very, very quickly.
Oh yeah.
So let's talk about UFC. So the big fight is Stipe Miocic, and I always have to slow down when I say that name because when I did the NBA draft show, he was on there. I called him Stipo, and he noticed it, and he said, "Hey, my name's not Stipo." And he said it. I think he was joking, but he's not really a ha kind of guy.
No, he's not.
And he said, "My name's Stipo." Or my name's. See, I did it again. My name's Stipe. It's like, fuck, sorry. But anyway, ever since that interaction, I don't want to piss him off. I would have to go with Stipe to win this just based on me not knowing anything. But everybody in the chat saying, don't be fooled. Ngannou's going to kill him.
So that's where I think people, when you look at the two of them, you put them together. Francis Ngannou literally looks like a Greek god. He looks like an NFL defensive end.
He's the one that looks, every time he fights, he scares me to death because he kills somebody, right?
He's the biggest, scariest human being. His knockout highlights are just vicious. He is literally making grown men, 6'4", 260-pound guys, split their lip open in half and just put their lights out. He is an absolute monster. They've fought before. Stipe won.
I told you before the show, foughten is not a word.
Yeah, but I told you. What was my response?
You said it,
didn't
yeah,
I?
okay. And
I just said it again.
All right.
They have fought before.
It should be. I like it. They fought before.
Doesn't fought sound good? I'm just going to keep saying it. I don't care.
Fighted.
They don't pay me here for my grammar.
Yeah, go ahead.
They've fought before, and Stipe won. And how he won, he basically just boxed them out. Just didn't take the big shots. Landed the shots. Put them on the ground. He's just more. So it's crazy because he's this like. Ngannou's he's from like literally the trenches of Africa, like literally digging these holes and like in the mountains, like crazy shit. Stipe is literally a fireman. He's still active fireman.
Firefighter from Cleveland, right?
In Cleveland.
Yeah.
Still in the firehouse on the daily. Like just like salt of the earth, gritty dude. He's an underdog in this fight. I can't not take him as a dog.
Okay.
I think he's smart enough.
So you see Stipe plus money, and that's all you need to say.
I think he's smart enough to not get that big punch landed on him. I really do.
But it's so scary when it just takes one.
It does. But I just think he's like, this dude is so smart. And I just think he knows what it takes to beat him. Like he's done it.
Yeah.
Like I think Francis has definitely gotten smarter and but also let's keep in mind, Francis since that fight has fought, I think 3 or 4 times, has never gotten past like a minute. So he hasn't really whereas Stipe basically fought Francis and then fought Daniel Cormier 3 times in a row. Lost the first time, beat him.
So Stipe's the champ.
He's the best heavyweight fighter of all time.
Has Francis ever been the champ?
No.
Okay.
The last time they fought, it was for the belt. Stipe handed him went all 5 rounds. Stipe won every round.
So I assume the last time they fought, and Francis is like this comet shooting across the sky.
Yes.
And they assumed he would beat Stipe.
He was the dog then as well.
When he didn't, and now Francis had to go back a little bit, and he's come back.
He's just knocked everybody out in the first round.
Okay.
And here he is back again.
He got humbled, basically.
I'm very excited for the fight. I am going to buy this. I'm going to watch this one.
I just think I just believe in Stipe. I just think the sucker plays that take Francis laying the lines. I've even seen him as high as minus 150. That to me is just crazy.
So
this guy's the best heavyweight fighter of all time. He's coming off 2 great wins in a row over DC, who you could argue is literally one of the best fighters of all time.
But he was at the end of his road, right?
But yes, but they all kind of UFC's weird where 26, 28 is not your prime. Your prime in the UFC legitimately could be 33, 35.
Look at Cormier.
You need that. They just get seasoned. You get smarter as a fighter. Stipe's around. I think they're actually around the same as age. I think Stipe might be 34, 35.
Yeah.
Ngannou's probably 33. They're not even.
Ngannou's 34.
Stipe is just
So
he just knows what to do. Like, I just trust him to go get this win however he's not going to knock him out, but he will grind out a win. I really believe that.
forgive my ignorance. Is there any other fight on this card that jumps out at you?
So the Vincente Luque and Tyron Woodley, that got bumped to the co-main. The original co-main was the featherweight championship. Alexander Volkanovski got COVID.
Yeah.
Who, in my opinion, he shouldn't even be the champ. Max Holloway beat him in the last fight, got robbed. But regardless, he got COVID, so that fight was out. Tyron Woodley was the guy. He was the champ forever. Kamaru just embarrassed him, took the belt. His last 3 fights, he basically got ran through by the top 3 guys in the welterweight. If he loses this fight, I would be probably he's going to hang it up. Luque's like a young, talented guy. It's funny because I was actually just watching the season of Ultimate Fighter he was on. And he fought really well. Luque's kind of like up and comer. Like, he's had some big knockouts the last few fights. It should be a good fight. It's interesting. Luque's a big favorite. I'm almost be inclined to take Tyron. I think he's getting like plus like 200 or more. But it's tread lightly because I think he could be just collecting that last big paycheck, or he could be deciding I want back in. It's like the end of the road for him a little bit.
So speaking of, it sounds like no, I didn't do it right. Okay, dude wipes. I was trying to set up I was going to say, it sounds like somebody's going to wipe the floor with somebody, huh? And then you said nothing because it was a stupid thing to say. And then I was said, speaking of wiping, dude wipes.
Not our problem, dude.
Yep. How many people here have taken a shit in the last week? I have. Dude wipes is what you need when you take a shit. You don't want that dry ass, scratchy toilet paper to irritate your butthole. You want this beautiful box. Oh, these are dude wipes on the go. Just 15 of them. Just put them in your man purse or your fanny pack. Big Ev wears a fanny pack when he's not on screen all the time. Put them in your fanny pack. Take them wherever you go. Ben Mintz carries a man purse. Dude wipes. They're fantastic, and they treat your butthole right.
I used them for the first time yesterday, and now I don't want to go back. Like, it's a better experience. It's legitimately
flushable.
Well, the box is black, and you never want to go back once you do that. So, what? No, nothing. All right, that is dude wipes. Okay, baseball starts next week. Baseball. It's I think opening day is Thursday. I'm just going to throw some futures at you, and I want to hear what your thoughts are. Okay? I'm not that plugged into baseball this year. I got to really get in, get grimy with it. I know Arenado's at St. Louis now. I believe Springer's in Toronto.
Lindor's a Met.
Trevor Bauer's a Dodger.
Yes.
I still think that's. I don't love that free agent signing. I hate when the best free agents go to this current champ.
Like the Durant.
Yeah, exactly. So, but. You've got Dodgers are the heavy favorite again. Dodgers plus 350. Yankees are right behind them at plus 550. Padres are third favorite plus 800. Chicago White Sox 850, and then Braves and Mets plus 1,000. So those are your top 6 favorites right there. Mets being plus 1,000 really kind of surprised me. Like I don't see them as being that good. Maybe is Lindor changed them that much?
I think it's that with the pitching.
Is this a year where that pitching is going to make the difference? Because they've had that pitching for a while.
Well, but it's also Stroman opted out last time. He'll be there.
Yeah.
As a part of the Lindor trade, they also got Carrasco.
And they've got DeGrom and Syndergaard.
That's a strong 4.
I think the new
really
ownership vibes are good too. I mean, maybe
a bounce back from Pete Alonso. You got
they have a great lineup.
Lindor,
the lineup is phenomenal.
It sounds pretty good now that I say it out loud. It's just you're not used to seeing the Mets in that conversation.
They have a lot of good young, like Pete Alonso, McNeil, like Dom Smith. Like they have some good Conforto. A lot of good young bats.
Twins at plus 2,000. Blue Jays and Astros at 2,200. A's, Cards, and Rays plus 2,500. Reds, Nats plus 3,300. And then, of course, it goes down from there. Braves are a team that they were a game away from playing in the World Series last year. Yeah. They could plus 1,000. Braves are.
They also get what's the Soroka? They get Soroka.
He's gonna be back. Yeah, because he got hurt.
And he was their best guy.
Yeah, he was.
And their lineup is absolutely stacked. Also, I mean, Ozuna resigned.
Those guys are hitting their prime.
I saw that
guys are starting to hit their prime.
The Braves opening day starter Max Fried.
Yes.
Max Fried, Giolito, and then there's one more. All played together at the same high school in L.A.
Soroka.
No, not Soroka. It was another.
Soroka.
It's 3 different teams. Opening day starter played at the same high school.
Jack Flaherty.
Is it Jack Flaherty? It might be Jack Flaherty.
Yeah.
It is Jack Flaherty.
Yes. Yeah.
3 different opening day starters. Same high school team in L.A.
Yep.
Boy, that's crazy. That's
3 phenomenal young starters.
Yeah, Fried's great. Flaherty's
Giolito is a stud.
Oh, yeah.
I loved betting on him last year. He was every start I just locked in play.
I love the White Sox. I think the White Sox hit bombs. They got a bunch of young, great, exciting players.
Aloy got hurt yesterday.
Did he?
Big bad for them. They say he's going to be out probably 5-6 months.
He tried to rob a home run and he blew his
trying to
back.
rob a home run that he had no spring training was not even close, like way over the wall.
Yeah, that stinks. But I still think they're loaded. I still think
they're good.
Very good.
They'll be good.
A couple of MVP futures I love. First of all, Tatis at plus 850. I like that. But the one I love the most is Nolan Arenado is plus 1,200 to win the National League MVP. He's going to St. Louis. Voters love voting Cardinals for everything.
That's
Cardinals are always right there. They seem to, and the Cardinals are always that annoyingly good team. Like I hate the Cardinals. I think that best fans in baseball thing is bullshit. But anytime a guy goes to the Cardinals, I feel like you got to look at him. He'll be in the lineup with Goldschmidt, right? Arenado is one of the best players in baseball. He's with the Cardinals' new team. I think he's going to have a huge year. Arenado plus 1,200 looks great to me on the odds. All right.
I'll have my baseball stuff ready early to mid next week. I got to go in the lab.
Are you kidding me? I told you at 11:54 we were going to do baseball futures. You didn't have them ready for the show that started at 11:55.
I know. I'll be ready next week.
All baseball season means for me is just blindly betting the Yankees run line every day.
Every day.
Actually, not blindly because I'm very in tune with the.
Yeah,
Yankees,
that's not blind. You're just doing it.
I'm just betting the Yankees run line every game.
I love betting on baseball
game.
day to day. I know this will be fun with Pick Central. I like doing the baseball day.
Yeah.
Day baseball is the best. Some first inning no run, best.
Being locked in with this show really helps you with being
staying on it. Yeah, NBA. It's helping me with NBA on that.
And I frankly, I've never been a huge baseball guy, but I do need that. I need that daily sport now. I need college basketball being gone for a week has just been awful.
It's horrible.
Shout out to my Mississippi State Bulldogs.
That was a third. We hit that three with like 1 second
DJ
left.
Stewart hits a three to beat the team they played yesterday. We'll play La Tech in the semis. Richmond, thank you very much. We'll play in the semis. I have no idea who's in the other semis, but it's the NIT. Clearly the most
Colorado State and Memphis.
Yeah,
gigantic.
They play tomorrow at noon. That's for anyone that need that itch early.
Yeah.
240s Loyola Oregon State. Noon, Colorado State, Memphis.
DGN. Yeah. Everything you just said was DGen.
I looked it up.
Because
when I saw the first game was at 2:40, I was like, I'm gonna be up at 9 a.m. I was like, what the fuck am I gonna do for 6 hours? I was like, Colorado,
so, do you ever get on like soccer, European soccer? You don't do that, do you?
That's
a Saturday morning thing.
I actually did check. I put in a Russian hockey bet that was at 12:30.
For what?
I don't know. RA's guy took it. RA and his guy are smart. I've been tailing some RA's picks. RA's a very good hockey gambler.
I haven't seen many of.
That's why I don't give out hockey picks, but I'll tail people who I know hockey.
Mr. Ice Elio's been hot.
He's been great too. I didn't bring that night when I had USC that bailed me out. I took the Mr. Ice. It was for a parlay plus 450. 3 goals in the last 3 minutes.
Oh, that's sweet. That's fantastic.
I turned it off. Thought it was a loser. I go on Twitter to see Elio celebrating. I was like, no fucking way. Plus 450. Thank you, Elio.
I got to run through picks because I keep forgetting. We just get lost in this conversation.
This reminds me. Oh, my God.
What does it remind you of?
It's just my old radio. Like, used to do 3-hour radio, and it seemed like it'd take 20 minutes.
So let's go in. Let's get locked into. Marty will be back, I think, Wednesday. Rico should be here Monday. We should have a 4-man crew on Monday. Then Marty will be back Wednesday. And, whoever wants to come in. Owen is I just gave Owen the invite because I like Owen's presence. He has a very steadying presence, very calm, and I need a calm demeanor.
We drove back from Philly together. We had a nice talk.
Did you?
We just chopped it up.
When me and you drove back from Philly, we just listened to Outkast.
Yeah, we did that too.
Doesn't sound bad either.
Yeah. Well, no, that's my favorite group. I like Pelicans money line over the Nuggets. I'm Mr. Pelicans on the show. If you look at this show and you think, who's the Pelicans guy? It is me, so don't listen to anybody else. Look at that record, though. 75-57. I've come back to the pack a little. I lost 3 units the other night. I lost 1.5 units last night. But still, 75-57. I'm leading. Pelicans money line, Hornets money line tonight against the Heat. I like the Cavs plus 4 against the Lakers and the Bucks minus 6 against the Celtics. I hate the Bucks bet. Seems like the Celtics are due to make a big punch. But I got Bucks minus 6. And, of course, I got all my Saturday plays ready. We'll trickle them out later. I think Ben Mintz is in second place. Go ahead, Ben Mintz.
Yes, I have NOLA plus 2.5 as a 2.5-point home underdog. I always think the road favorite 2.5 is the sketchiest line in sports. I'm taking the Minnesota Timberwolves by 3.5 at home against Houston, just on principle. Dallas, who's playing a little better, by 4 over Indiana, and I got the Utah Jazz by 9.5 over Memphis, and 76-76. But hey, man, it's been a long road to 500 this month. It's been fun.
TJ, I don't have the standings for today. Oh wow, go ahead, Big F. Music's playing.
Heat minus 1.5, Pelicans plus 3, Suns minus 4.5. I love the Suns the most. Heat scares me.
Suns bounce back spot off that Ed
It's a
Orlando
wrap,
loss.
but
yeah. I have the Hornets against the Heat. That scares me.
106-3? Better than I thought, actually.
All right, that was fun. Thank you,
I was
Big
shocked to
You
see.
were so hot that
It's
one week.
shocking to see where you're like,
tournament
am I 500?
Thank you, Big Ev. Thank you, Ben Mintz. That's the week. We will be back on Monday. And, Pick Central. Yak is up next.